Hey everybody, breaking news. This is from MSNBC. So Colorado Supreme Court says Trump disqualified from GOP primary ballot. Listen.
Breaking news out of Colorado. Donald Trump, as we know, was fighting to be able to be on that primary ballot. The Colorado Supreme Court now issuing a 200-something page opinion that we've just got. And we're going to go back to Christy Greenberg and Hugo Lowell. I know, guys, you haven't had a chance to look at it. We're looking at it right now. It's 217 pages. But, Christy, I want to start with you on this particular issue. This is not the first state that there's been an attempt to be able to disqualify Trump being able to be on the ballot. But what?
Nope, he can't be on the ballot in California, folks. So that's California, Colorado, and what else?
What's intriguing about it is that it's now being done in a way where the judicial system is having a say in terms of whether or not somebody can be on a ballot. Your thoughts about what we're hearing coming out of Colorado at this time?
Well, it is an interesting decision because the Colorado District Judge, Sarah Wallace, last month when she made her decision, she had a really puzzling decision where she found, based on the evidence, that Trump had engaged in insurrection, but essentially said, well, Section 3 of the 14th Amendment, it doesn't apply to presidents. He's not an officer such that it applies to him, which was a really odd result. So when that was appealed, I think a lot of people had been scratching their heads and thought the appeal was appropriate. And, I haven't read the basis of this, but it sounds like at least the Colorado Supreme Court said no. Actually, if he engaged in insurrection, yes, he is an officer, and the 14th Amendment would apply to him. It would be a perverse result otherwise to have it apply to members of Congress and others in lower elected officials and not to the President of the United States. So it sounds like Colorado Supreme Court got it right in finding that this should apply to the president and presumably determines that the factual findings of the district court in finding that he engaged in the insurrection were upheld. So it is a result that is interesting. It is a result that seems like the right result. The big question will be whether or not it holds, because this is surely going to the U.S. Supreme Court, and I have a lot less confidence that the U.S. Supreme Court will decide that Donald Trump should be disqualified from the ballot, given that conservative majority on that court.
I also want to...
Yeah, I want to put this on freeze, folks, because on Twitter they have just posted here the event sheet head note and election law, 14th Amendment, First Amendment, political questions, hearsay. In this appeal from a district court proceeding under the Colorado Election Code, the Supreme Court considers whether former President Donald J. Trump may appear on the Colorado Republican primary ballot in 2024. A majority of the court holds that President Trump is disqualified from holding the office of president under Section 3 of the 14th Amendment to the United States Constitution. Because he is disqualified, it would be a wrongful act under the election code for the Colorado Secretary of State to list him as a candidate on the presidential primary ballot. The court says its ruling until January 4th, 2024, the court stays its ruling until January 4th, 2024, subject to any further appellate proceedings. And I'm trying to see if there's a scroll down here. I don't see anything. And that's it. So that's what's posted here. Oh, wait a minute. There. Yeah, and it's still the same thing as well. For some reason, they have multiple posts of the same photograph. But that's this Colorado Supreme Court's decision, ladies and gentlemen. Some of the reactions here on Twitter. Well, let's see real quick because they're coming in. This only posted a minute ago. And it says, we will have to get this delivery tomorrow. Lago right away. Someone with a truck. Great American Mail. Oh my God, this is huge because the Supreme Court will have to take the case and correct it. Disqualification clause of the 14th Amendment does not apply to the presidency. And that's what this person's claim is. Assuming this goes to SCOTUS, it'll be interesting. Thank you for breaking this. And on this day, that Speaker McCarthy officially resigns from Congress. until the Supreme Court says otherwise, 6-3. Colorado leading the way to sanity. So what happens if a voter writes his name in? Does the vote still count? Christine Gale says, it's so satisfying when justice is served. Bravo, says Muckety Muck, looking forward to Bobo's hissy fit. Stouffer says it's really good news. He's definitely appealing to SCOTUS. Well, let's now go to SCOTUS is the Supreme Court of the United States, folks. Harlan Crow, this is why we invest in human capital. Okay, then someone said, bummer, can he appeal? Eagle swears he'll be on the ballot. It's like Christmas. Oh boy. Okay, so that's the latest. And subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube for more on this. But Donald Trump disqualified from the ballot in Colorado, according to the Colorado Supreme Court, and it would be shocking to me if this did not string a wave of decisions regarding Supreme Courts in the United States. And will the Supreme Court even take up the matter itself? If the Supreme Court doesn't take up the matter, that means Donald Trump is stuck. Here we go. All right. Or is he? You know what? I'll get a legal specialist on to discuss that. So you got to subscribe to Zenny62 on YouTube. All right.